Nekusar the Mindrazer versus Nin the Pain Artist. And we have 3 cards in hand, Force of Will and a Wheel. So I think we can keep that. If we just go for... yeah, if we go for a blue and a black source off this, probably Watery Grave. And we'll just see if our opponent wants to actually get the game going. Yep, looks like we are off to the races. And go for a tapped Watery Grave here. And then we'll go over the commanders. Nin the Pain Artist is blue and red for a 1/1. And then for X tap and is it deals X damage to a target creature. And that creature's controller draws X cards. Typically they want to use that effect on their own creatures, token creatures that they don't care about, from things like Young Pyromancer and the Merfolk that throws out drakes. I forget the name of it. There's nothing we can do here, so we'll just go for another tap land from the Misty Rainforest. And hopefully they'll play around some kind of counterspell. They might try and get down Nin. No, they go for Trinket Mage. Don't think I actually want Trinket Mage, because that might mean that they go for... we're going to wheel the Consecrated Sphinx away, so I'll get rid of that. Yeah, Trinket Mage means that they just get into more mana, and countering that also means that we have made their turn pretty pointless. Well, not pointless, it did get a couple of cards out of our hand, but they didn't get any other upside with regards to their side of the board. We'll go for Steam Vents in tapped. And then Notion Thief is tempting. Only problem is it relies solely on us getting a land. So I think in that case, we just want to ensure that we get into some more stuff here, because there's nothing else going on. If we got into a land, I would by all means go for Notion Thief. And yeah, that's much better. That means that we can quite comfortably ramp next turn and then get into Nekusar. I think if we get down... where are we? We go into Badlands. Attack the Badlands for Sol Ring. And then Sol Ring into the Signet. That would still... no, we'd have to go Sol Ring into Nekusar. Yeah, so we'll go for that. Yeah, we'll go Badlands. Get down our own Sol Ring. And then Nekusar, of course, and we'll just have to hope that it sticks around, seeing as how we got rid of that Force of Will. And we'll have a look and see what our opponent got rid of. They had Into the Royal, Fabricate, Snapcaster, Bribery. Yeah, they had a really good hand. Brainstorm, they couldn't even get off. Yeah, so that was a really good hand to get rid of. That's not to say that they don't have a really good hand now. They actually didn't have any more mana, did they? Any more lands to play anyway. I'm sure they would have gotten into those with Brainstorm, and then at least, where are we? Snapcaster Mage into Brainstorm certainly would have gotten them into more lands. And it's probably why they kept the hand, because Trinket Mage could have got them into a Signet or a Mana... oh, actually, no, not a Signet. But it could have gotten them into Mana Crypt or something like that. And they now have 5 mana to play with. If they want to kill Nekusar with this, they're going to need 6 mana. But that would give us 4 cards. So I'm not sure if they want to do that. That is imprisoning the moon mana, so hopefully that's not what's happening here. No, they go for Crucible of Worlds. That's a means of making a card land every turn. And this might be something that we don't want to see. Yep, Force of Will. So that means Well, we'll see what we grab here first. Oh, we could go for Pact of Negation on their Force of Will. Alright, so can we play this? Go for Cavern. Oh no, not Cavern, Graven Cairns. That would be 1, 2, 3 for the Coalition Relic. And then 1, 2 for the Signet. And then, yeah, we can play all of those. Unfortunately, won't be able to put a counter on the Coalition Relic. But it at least gets it onto the field. And if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll see if this gets a Force of Will. And then of course we can Pact of Negation the Force of Will. That is counter a target spell at the beginning of your next upkeep. You may pay 5. If you don't, you lose the game. Swinging at our opponent here because they're not going to block, and even if they do, it gets rid of their commander. And now, unless they do something about Nekusar on the stack, which they're not doing, they're going to be dealt a lot of damage here. Yeah, Nekusar deals 1 damage to our opponent for every card that they draw. And they draw an additional card during each of their... when is it? At the beginning of each player's draw step, they draw an additional card. And then Font of Mythos, at the beginning of each player's draw step, they draw 2 additional cards. So that is 4 cards a turn at least they're drawing. And if they get up to the mana that will allow them to actually play all these cards in their hand, then it's going to be pretty dangerous. But if we can manage to keep drawing into cards ourselves and protecting Font of Mythos and our commander, then hopefully we'll be able to make it through this. They have 4, 5, 6 things in hand. Might force them to use the Force of Will here if they really want to bounce something of ours, and by all means they can do that. They might just have more counter magic, a counter spell in hand. If they have mana drain, it won't net them any mana, because Pact of Negation doesn't cost anything. Or not yet, anyway. Okay, they allow us to bounce the Venser. Now the problem is that they have Force of Will in hand still. Probably because they wanted us to pay the 5 here. Just make sure we do this correctly. That is... There we go, pay that, and see if our opponent does anything to us. They might just bounce something. Might bounce Nekusar. But they don't, they allow us to draw. In that case, we can go for our... How does this thing come in on... Yeah, we need basics in order to have that come in, so why don't we just get that down. If we draw into another basic, we can have this come in untapped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. See if they want to Force of Will with the Gilded Lotus. If they don't, then we can get down the Kedrect Parasite. Okay, they're choosing what they want to draw next turn. We've got a couple of tutors off so far, so that's... Ooh, Cyclonic Rift is... they have 4, 5, 6. And most likely going to get into a land next turn, so they will have to do it during their... Yeah, they'll have to do it during their main phase, which means they tap out, or they might just hold mana and do it during our turn, which means we effectively lose a turn. So we'll see what they do here. We are piling up the damage on them. But the longer the game goes on and the more card draw a control deck gets, the worse off it is for us. And the Parasite is another pain effect, but we do have to control a red permanent in order to switch it on, which of course is our commander. We do have another couple of red permanents, but we actually don't have many. Just kind of relying on Nekusar to activate that. Okay, yeah, they're probably going to go after Gilded Lotus here. That really nice promo version of Copy Artifact. I should probably run that in this deck, actually. The number of times people get turn 1 Soul Rings and Mana Crypts and things like that means that we're at least on a level playing field. And they do it during their turn, which is fine. Does mean that we have to take a turn off replaying everything. And they also have Force of Will in hand still. And I dare say they will want to counter the Nekusar. Right, I don't know if I want to play that Wasteland yet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 is Gilded Lotus. And that would be something good to use Force of Will on, seeing as how we just tapped out for it. What I would very much like to do is kill the Gilded Lotus, because that is a source of red mana for them. Looks like they're going for Force of Will. And now if we go Wasteland into Volcanic Island, they still have red from the Gilded Lotus. And we'll just pass to get that blue mana away from them. And then we'll get the Parasite back down. Kedirect Parasite won't do anything for us until we get a red permanent in play. But they won't get any extra card draw. They might just ping this because it's only going to draw us 1 card if they ping it with Nin. Oh, and of course, completely forgot about the Crucible of Worlds. Whoops. And now they can get red mana from the Felwar Stone as well. Doesn't look like they care too much about producing red mana. Although Solemn will do it for them. Alright, now it's time to see if they have counter magic or not. So why don't we just see if we can land. Why didn't that tap for black? See if we can land Nekusar here, because I would like to get into the Time Twister. Really don't like this evacuation in my hand, so I think I might swap it out for something like Memory Lapse. Actually going to put that on top of our library. I don't want to pay the commander tax. Yeah, can actually go for that. And then if we go, yeah, we'll just have to go straight into Font of Mythos. It's quite risky doing that. In fact, yeah, all we're going to do is give our opponent some cards and not deal any damage to them. Next turn we'll be able to get it out. We'll just go for the Relic. And then I think we played the Urborg this turn. Yes, we did. And I don't think we have any shuffle effects. I'll have to hope that my opponent doesn't have any means of shuffling our library. And looks like they're pinging their solemn for 1. That will of course draw them 1 card. And if they decide to tap down Nin for 4 mana and kill their solemn, then that will draw them 3 cards, 1 from the solemn dying and 2 from the Nin's effect. They're down to 4 cards in hand, about to be 3 by the looks of it. Okay, they managed to ramp some more with Thran Dynamo. I don't know if we have... I think we have Vandal Blast in the deck, and that would be a really good thing to get into. Hopefully they don't get into their own Vandal Blast. Or they're just going to do a hell of a lot of damage to Solemn, maybe. Yep, they're pinging Solemn for 6, which means they draw 7 cards. So if that doesn't get them into counter magic, not sure if a whole lot will. Alright, we draw into our Nekusar here, and no idea what, we'll just take blue. And then go for Command Beacon, might be using that next turn. See how this goes first. I'm sure in a full grip of 7 they have a means of counter magic. They have Remand, which draws them another card, so we can try again, but they'll probably just be able to counter it again. Looks like they can. Okay, Impulse actually isn't counter magic. It might get them into some more free counter magic though. What I'd really like to do is go for Time Twister. And that will deal lethal damage to them. So we'll go for that right now and hope that they didn't get into any free counter magic. If they did, I imagine they would have countered Nekusar, so quietly confident that we're managing to pull this off here. Yeah, and our opponent's saying GG. They did have Vandal Blast, which we mentioned. Oh, and they... You might not know this because you'll be able to see the game screen, but the game is just completely shut down on me. So I am currently looking at my audio recording equipment, software, and all the rest of it. Yeah, our opponent said fun game. It was a fun game, and I hope they saw the GG that we threw up. They had the Vandal Blast that we were worried about, and the Vandal Blast that we wanted to draw into to throw at them. It's always fun to play against a blue deck that isn't just counter everything. A little bit hypocritical, me saying that, with my Niv Mizzet Perun deck, but yeah, it is fun to see something different every now and then. So, hope you enjoyed that. That was Nekusar the Mindrazer versus Nin the Pain Artist, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.